Dear children, soluble impurities can be removed by the following methods, isn't it? Evaporation and distillation. So far we've seen about evaporation. Now we are going to see about distillation. Distillation. Okay, Distillation. Distillation. Okay, what do you mean by distillation? Distillation is a process which separates impurities from water. அழுக்கெல்லாம் எடுக்க போகுது. It gives us both the solute, அதாவது அந்த உப்பு சக்கரை மாதிரி, ஓகே, solute, and the solvent யாருங்க? வாட்டர், separately. Okay, follow the lines carefully. Distillation is a process which separates impurities from water. It gives both the solute and the solvent separately. Okay, shall we see that in experiment? Okay, have you heard the word about distilled water? Have you seen the bottle? See, this is called distilled water. Okay, where and all we are using this distilled water? In our batteries, UPS, they are using distilled water. Yes, we should not drink the distilled water. Even though it is the purest form of water, it is not used for drinking because it doesn't contain any minerals. Okay, it is not good for our health. So it doesn't contain any minerals. So we should not drink distilled water. Okay. So we'll go for this experiment. Okay. Distilled water is the purest form of water. It does not contains any impurities or germs. This water is mainly used in car batteries, in science experiments, and in medicines. So what I said just before, even though distilled water is the purest form of water, distilled water cannot be used for drinking. Okay, now we'll go for the process. What is called distillation? How can we get the distilled water, that is purest form of water? Even though we are getting rain, rain is not the purest form of water. See, when rain comes, it mixes with many dust particles and other substance present in air. So nowadays rain is not also the purest form of water. Okay, now we are straight away go to the experiment called distillation. In distillation, impure water is taken in a round bottomed flask and heated. See, look at the picture carefully. There is a round bottom flask is there, and inside that what is there? Impure water. That means some soluble impurities like salt, sugar, like that. Many different kinds of salts are there. So that thing is mixed there. Okay, impure water is present in which round bottom flask. In which material? In round bottom flask. And what we are doing that? We are heating that. Okay, in distillation, impure water is taken in a round bottom flask and heated. On boiling, the water evaporates, isn't it? Any liquid starts evaporates. On boiling, the water gets evaporates. Then what will happen to the impurities? It left behind in the same flask, round bottom flask itself. It remains in the bottom. The water, on boiling, the water gets evaporate, the impurities left behind. The water vapor, where it goes? See, look at the picture. It goes to the bent tube. The water vapor enters into the condenser tube. Okay, condenser na cool pannudunu artham. Condensing na cool pannudu. The water vapor enters where? Into the condenser, which is kept cool by circulating cold water around it. அந்த டியூப்பை சுற்றி கோல்ட் வாட்டர் டேப்லேருந்து போகிற மாதிரி செட்டப் பண்ணோம். ஓகே, சர்க்குலேட்டிங் கோல்ட் வாட்டர் அரவுண்ட் இட். ஓகே, த வாட்டர் வேப்பர் கெட் கண்டென்ஸ்ட். வாட் இஸ் தேர் இன்சைட் த டியூப்? வாட்டர் வேப்பர் ஒன்லி இந்த ரவுண்ட் பாட்டம் ஃப்ளாஸ்க்லேருந்து போகுது இல்லையா? ஸோ த வாட்டர் வேப்பர் ஒன்லி மூவ்ஸ், ட்ராவல்ஸ் இன்சைட் த டியூப். ஸோ the water vapor get condensed. Condensed என்ன சொன்னேன்? Cool. So the water vapor get cooled and changes into, cool ஆனா என்ன ஆகும்? Water. The water vapor cooled and get changes into water. Okay, this water is collected. The second one, எங்க? That this water is collected in the conical flask. And the triangular flask that we called it as conical flask. So the water is collected in the conical flask. So what form of water? So round bottom la irundhathu impure water. So now we are getting conical flask la kedaikira water is what? Pure water. So we can name it as distilled water. Conical flask water enna sollalam? Distilled water. Okay, so this process we called it as distillation. Okay, so we are getting pure water by this technique. So this process is called as distillation. The water we get from this process is called as distilled water.